5 of Appendix F of our Rules of Procedure, which requires us as MPs to base our conduct on full consideration of the public interest. Mr. Speaker, sir, the abduction of citizens, especially here in the Central Region, has reached crisis levels, Mr. Speaker. The victims are mostly supporters of the opposition, and right, Honorable Speaker, we saw yesterday the Sheikh and Mr. Joseph Kabuleta being abducted in broad daylight by the armed men. And Mr. Speaker, 24 days now ago, NUP supporter Kavma Jamshid, who also doubles as my president's bodyguard, he was abducted with 3 other youth from their workplace. Mr. Speaker, only this month alone, hundreds of youth have been abducted and they have disappeared. They have not been seen or heard of since then, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Zake, just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Mr. Speaker, let me first finish up my matter.
I'm the one who has allowed you. I will allow you. Don't mind.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Zake, please. Just, I want to guide you. I'm your presiding officer. You voted me. Now, Honorable colleague, we are your colleagues here. When I request, don't read mischief in me. Then it means you know also what you are doing is not right and I've caught you. That's the message you're sending to me. Because you see, procedure is about proceedings in this house. Okay? The issue you are raising is not part of proceedings in this house. But there are many ways you can raise that issue. I request you visit my office. I will give you space on how you can raise the issue. That's my ruling, Honorable.
No, Mr. Speaker, this matter has been going on
Honorable Zake, kindly
all along, and we seem not to be doing anything.
Honorable Zake, kindly take your seat. Honorable Op, can you control your member?
Speaker, no.
Okay. Colleagues, House suspended for 5 minutes. colleagues, take your seat. I want to thank you, our senior colleague, Honorable Segona. All members you see here, all these members, I don't believe there is any member who condones abduction of any person. And the best way to handle this matter, it shouldn't be a matter for either opposition versus the NRM. And it looks like the government people, for them, they are supporting abductionists, and then opposition is not, because it can happen to anyone. We have agreed indeed that if there are any new people beyond the list which we received, they should be handed over to the leader of opposition and passed on to the Prime Minister like we did on the previous one. And then we handle them through the same process which we've agreed upon. On the other issues, we shall have a meeting in my chambers after here. Okay? Yes. So, Honorable Numbers?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I think by virtue of age and having been here, I can appreciate how hot your seat is. Let me start by thanking you for exercising unprecedented patience. If anything should never run out of the Speaker's chair, the biggest weapon that the Speaker has is patience. And I would continue to invite you to exercise the same patience and even beyond. We have, with the LOP and the team that you met, agreed that both sides of the Parliament should never allow such a scenario to happen again. But also agreed that we handle the substance as opposed to the symptom. And I'm very glad with your statement on handling the substance of the problem. To be quite honest, Right Honorable Speaker, it is very difficult if it's your son or daughter. Because as I went out to retreat with a few colleagues outside, pursuant to your instruction, I have established that more abductions are continuing. And this is not a scenario that I would permit in my government. I'm now in government. May I continue to plead for your patience, that you find it within the usual self, the Speaker, that you stay the action and we handle the substance. Then we see how to deal with the symptoms that have erupted. We make an undertaking from our side that in future such a scenario should not and will not happen. I still plead with you, and I still invite the same Speaker that I have known for these decades to sit on that decision as we try to do the work that you have assigned us from both sides of the House. I plead and beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Procedure where we have reached, because I didn't do an order paper where we are going to spend the whole evening. Taxpayers are paying us colleagues. They are not paying us to handle procedure only. Before we broke up, before we broke off for recess, if you remember, the leader of opposition presented this matter on the floor. Okay? With the list. I'm the one who made the ruling. I was in that. And I called the meeting. Where the meeting we met with the opposition, with the shadow minister, with the leader of opposition, prime minister, minister for security, and all that, and we agreed on a certain procedure. It might have been slow, but the process has been ongoing. Okay? You see, when you have an issue of that nature, you come to the presiding officer. My chambers are open. Every day colleagues are in my chambers, opposition and NRM. And you ask for space and I give you space. Now, this is not a matter where from nowhere you come and you decide it causes commotion on the floor. And you say, now we shall move because I've caused commotion on the floor. Please, colleagues, no. This house has rules. I propose we go by the rules. And colleagues, allow us to move. That is what we've agreed. Depending on what we did with the leader of opposition and prime minister before we went for recess. And this has been in the process. In fact, Honorable Segona had brought it earlier. It has been in the process. We are supposed to meet next week. But one can't say we meet tomorrow or we do this. But I request you, colleagues, however much an issue is disturbing you, never try to test the patience of the presiding officer. Never. Because I give you an opportunity to raise it. Now, if you think you will come and you hijack me here on the floor, well, you can try, but I only wish you luck. If you bring another report, it will bring us problems. And yet you had done good work. You had done good work. Okay? So I request we move.
No, thank you, Speaker. I've always exercised.
Colleagues, kindly take your seats. I'm seeing colleagues standing up. Kindly.
Proceed, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
No, Honorable, I haven't allowed you.
Yeah, I'm as a procedure.
No, good, but I haven't allowed you. Procedure, I must also allow you. So you can't speak when you're standing. You can't speak to me when you're standing. Please, honorable colleagues, take your seats, please. Please, honorable colleagues, take your seats. Thank you. Yes, matters of national importance. Honorable Namanya Dapas. Rob is speaking.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to seek your indulgence and that of the House to bear with us on this side of the political aisle for whatever mishaps. Mr. Speaker, I would like to inform the members that why the member had to go out of his way and lose his cool is because of the massive abductions, and many of those abducted up to now are unaccounted for. And so in our meeting where we retreated, I want to thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. We have tasked government to account for this new wave of abductions. And the leader of government business is willing, together with all the relevant leaders, to account for the whereabouts of those that have been abducted.
Order.
And besides
Order.
that,
Order. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. The leader of opposition is bringing a very good message. But I doubt whether it's in order for him to be the one making those commitments. When the people in government are here, when the speakers come back and wants to take us to matters of national importance, can I request that the people in the government make the commitment instead of the law, so that when we come back here, we are sure that we are coming back to do business about this matter, which has been around us every time and every day. That's why Honorable Nambesh is my friend, is my lord, but I'm forced to put him on order.
just because he's not supposed to be making those commitments. Let the people in government make the commitments. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Please, Honorable Ambition. Number one, colleagues, whether you are who or who, no one will be allowed to blackmail this house. Because I've seen now where we are going, we have started a very dangerous game. A very, very dangerous game. I cannot, my decision, what we discussed, is not based on someone trying to hijack the microphone. No way. Not any single day. We remember come and dress here. You try to even commit suicide here. If you're doing it for your constituency, and you want to appease your constituency, show you're the one who has worked, do it. But it will never influence any decision I make here. The commitment, that issue, I started it without Honorable Zake being here. Honorable Zake has not been in this house for over 10 sittings. He has not been here, and without my permission. If I go on the Hansard, if I go on the record. But I have never spoken about him. Because he's a brother. You live a colleague. Maybe he's in a constituency. But I want to caution you. And you see, that's why I had moved to matters of national importance. Because I didn't want you to push me in a corner. Okay? Colleagues, if this house has rules, if you want to do drama, go and do it in your constituency. You can't do it on this floor. Number two, if you want pictures to go around, people holding you up, how you are arrested, clothes getting torn, and you use them during campaigns, we can organize for you near National Stadium. Then you do that. Number three, as per Rule 175 of our Rules of Procedure, I refer Honorable Zake to the Committee on Rules for Discipline. Matters of national importance. No, Honorable Rob, I'm done on that.
No, I wanted to inform my member.
Okay, conclude.
Amicable, yes. The amicable resolution of the impasse that we had reached. And I had not made any commitments on behalf of government. I'm only being misunderstood. My colleague is merely hitting a messenger who is bringing the message. But the truth of the matter is that mine was to report what we had arrived at. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Numbers, matters of national importance. No, colleagues, I want to just move. Honorable Cooper.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, the matter which has caused this passing is a serious one. And I'd expected now the Prime Minister to make a statement and then we'll proceed. That way,
Prime Minister, please take your seat. Prime Minister, take your seat, please.
That way, right Honorable Speaker, we would be moving together. Both from the government side and opposition side. I want to keep you out of this, right Honorable Speaker. You see, it's painful until you have gone through that process. That's when you get to know the problem. You saw the issue of Honorable Macho, what happened to him at that time. I don't want us to see such things happening in this country. So let us work together to make sure that this type of arrest, like we read yesterday about Kableta, and the families have looked for him, they can't get him. These are things, if government keeps quiet, it bruises. So is it procedure right for the right honorable Prime Minister here, effectively represented by the third Deputy Prime Minister, to let this pass without making a commitment to the nation? Thank you, right Honorable Speaker.
You see, this parliament is two-faceted. There are some of us who come, let me say, from not rural constituencies, they come from a city. We don't do drama. If you realize the people who do drama in this house are the same all the time, because they have hyped up their constituents, they have hijacked them and intoxicated them with negativity against this government. And the only ticket that brings them back to the house is the drama you were seeing. that they have their abductions, the exaggerations, the lies they tell. So they all act to the gallery, use hooliganism in the house. This house has got decorum. It has rules. So people abuse their privileges in the house and go overboard. What you saw today is abuse of privileges. Look at the dress code alone. Last week, Honorable Niwagaba, the Shadow Attorney General, raised an issue of the dress code that it is declining because people come in short-sleeved shirts and claim that is an African wear. No, an African wear should be a long-sleeved shirt and smart. But people are coming dressed like fishermen, retired fishermen, street vendors. You can't tell that somebody is a member of parliament. So if people behave like that, you bring hooliganism in the house, and yet you know the decorum stated to you in the rules of procedure. The speaker says sit down and you refuse. What do you call that? It's not even defiance. It's simply either you are high on something or you are simply a hooligan who wants to attract attention of your voters. And they score. They do attract attention of their voters and they always voted back. Some of these security matters are not matters that we are going to discuss in the public. I want to tell you that clearly. You know that many police stations, and even an army man was shot and killed by people who are unknown, apart from the one who was put out of action. Security is not going to come and explain the nitty-gritty of who is doing this. They have not abducted anybody. The Prime Minister gave a list of all the people in the custody and the cases against them. Many of them have been arraigned in court. That abduction word is still for the gallery so that the people feel, oh, our MP was talking about taking our issues to the house. But the situation is not as bad. How come for you are not abducted? Why? How come me I am here and many others? No. You see, there is a saying that there is no smoke without fire. No security agency will come to your house to pick you out of nowhere. There will be a clue. Who is taking these guns from police stations? Who is killing policemen and women? Who is doing it? So when security goes to arrest them, instead of you supporting the government to have these culprits brought to book, you want to support the people that have been arrested. Really, what are we going to do? The country cannot be run like a pigsty. We must have structures. And nobody has been kidnapped or abducted. That's a lie. People are being arrested. Broad daylight and everybody is seeing. And they are documented. Some of these people brought fake names, you remember? Names of people who don't exist. The government looked for them, not even in the national IDs, they don't exist anywhere. So they want to create an impression in the international community that the abduction is taking place in Uganda, but they are not there.
Yeah, okusookera ddala twalondebwa wano okulaba nga tufa ku ebyo ebikwatagana ne ku bantu. Ate n'amateeka gaffe aga parliament galikiriya nnyo era nga bwe ndisitinze rules of procedures ezimpa omwaganya okuleeta ensonga ng'ezo ezikwatagana n'abantu baffe okulaba nti twogera ekituufu ekiri mu bantu baffe kuba wano tuliwo lw'abantu miliyoni kumpi 4 zandibadde zonna ze zitula mu palamenti eno. Singa miliyoni agaana gagali gatula mu palamenti eno nga twali tulina ekizimbe ekinene nnyo ekisobola okujjamu miliyoni 4 ez'abantu, twandibadde ensonga eyandibadde esinga okubeera enkulu yandibadde okukwatibwa kw'abantu wabweru wa mateeka n'abantu okukwatibwa kati bagoberedde mateeka, abantu ne bamala ennaku nnyingi eyo, abalala ne battibwa, abantu ne bakolebwa ebintu eby'enjawulo. Tuzze tukaaba ku nsonga eyo emirundi n'emirundi. Bakulembeze bannange wano aba palamenti bazze bajogerako emirundi mingi nnyo ng'evaawo buvi bwetyo. So neŋŋamba nedda nina okukolawo ekyenjawulo okulaba nga waakiri eddoboozi lino liwulirwa kuba eno gavumenti eno tugimanyi yamami Museveni yaba yeekera ewuliriza muntu avudde mu mbeera. Nze zaako enkwatiddwa emirundi n'emirundi egy'enjawulo, ntulugunyiziddwa emirundi egy'enjawulo wabeeru wa mu mateeka era nempangulako n'emisango egimu mu kkooti olw'okuntulugunya n'okumpamba wabeeru wa mu mateeka. Era mmanyi ki abantu abo bakutte kye bayitamu, manyi ki famire z'abo abantu ze bayitamu ki kye bayitamu. badde bulijjo nzija mu parliament wano nga neetegereza nga ndaba buli kimu business going on nga as usual badde mumba ndaba nga ntula mu parliament awo nentulawo nti nembeetegereza nga binkwasa ennaku nembeerawo nenkwata ku ttama nenyeenya omutwe nga binkwasa ennaku nga bakulembeze bannange abankulembera wano nga mukama waffe leader of opposition wano nga abisiba byogerako naye nga bikomaawo so olwaliro niŋŋamba nedda nentaganjula amateeka nendanga amateeka gampa omuwatwa mwensobola okuyita okulaba nga tuinterruptinga business yonna egenda mu maaso okulaba nga tewali business erina kgenda mu maaso paka ng'abantu abakwatiddwa mu bwabweru mu mateeka nga bateereddwa bwebanga battibwa babeere nga baweebwa famire zaabwe babaziike bulungi nnyo era emu ku badde essala zange ebadde kubeera nti palamenti terina kugenda mu maaso ng'abantu abakwatibwa wabweru mu mateeka tebateereddwa oba abattibwa nga tebaweereddwa famire zaabwe nga palamenti erina okuvaayo namba 1 okukondembinga ensonga eyo kuba nkyamu okugamba nti abductions nkyamu naye ekyokubiri ekisingira ddala okuba nga abantu bonna abakwatibwa bateebwa nga bazzizibwa eri abantu baabwe yensonga gitulimu omulamu omukulu to bring back our people nga yensonga enkulu ennyo gyendeese naye mu byonna okugenda mu maaso bwesomye mu mateeka gonna naba nga wa gyeŋŋenda alabayo kwe kunstopinga nze sitiisibwatiisibwa nze tebankangakanga najja wano kukiikirira abantu sajja wano kulwa speaker kulwa deputy we kulwani sajja wano kubanga nti nno oba nti nze sina ssente nze sajja wano kukola ssente ng'abantu abamu abasinga abali wano sajja wano kwekkusa sajja wano kubeera kwogera ku bintu biryawo bigasanze ng'omuntu najja wano lwa public interest kulaba nga nfa ku nsonga ezikwatagana n'abantu baffe era y'ensonga enkulu lwaki ndaba nga ensonga enkulu ekwata ku bantu baffe y'abantu abakwatibwa abantu baffe abakwatibwa bweloma mu mateeka abantu baffe abattibwa ensonga gye tuzze tuyimbako buli kiseera naye abakulembeze tulinga nga abalowooza nti ffe bwe twogerako bwogezi nga bikomaawo so nga nze ndowooza tewali bizinesi erina kugenda mu maaso era nenkiputinga kiriya ng'etsaponi them okukikkiriza oba nedda so abadde agala nzikakkanye nti anzize wansi neme kubanga njogera ensonga ezo nga nzimaliriza nennemerako neŋŋamba neno malirizayo ensonga zange kubanga amateeka gempiseemu matuufu procedure zemuwadde rules zemuwadde nga ntuufu so okubanga banzikakkanya wansi kati okuva nti nze bankange kange bantale ku disciplinary committee eyo ŋŋenzeeyo ne mbasingirayo ne mu kooti nenzeeyo ne mbasingirayo baagaana okulirizinga ruling paka kati bagigulirira oba bakola biki be bamanyi naye nze mmanyi nabawangula era olunaku lwonna ruling eyo lwerivayo kyerivayo nti nno nabakola ki nabawangula ne mu committee ripooti zajja nga mbawangudde nokati oba bansindise oba tebansindise nze tebajja kuntiisatiisa kisimanya messinza sittings 10 nga mbadde embeerawo buli kiseera nga bandaba nga mbetegereza bwe nti neŋŋamba nno bano nno nga bwe baliko ng'abantu si be baliko so olwaliro mbadde neno balagako bakitegere kuba olulimi gavumenti eno lwewulira lwe lulimi olw'omuntu avudde mu mbeera ate nga yenze muntu omutuufu kubanga yenze omuntu gwe bakyasinza otulugunya mu bakulembeze bonna nga sobola kubanga ntuna butunuzi nga abantu baffe bakwatibwa ne bamalayo ennaku ennyingi n'abaka bannaffe olaba omukulembeze omulambo w'ekizimbe kino avaayo n'agamba abantu bamugoberera baagala kumutta era security yeeyongezebweko saasira omuntu wa bulijjo atalina security olwaleero abasekyuta abandi badde batukuuma kati nabo bagamba abantu ba bulijjo mutuyambe naffe batutta kati olaba embeera ng'eyo embeera evudde mu mbeera ne tubeera wano mu palamenti ne tuteesanga abalowooza nti ebintu biri nomo nti ebintu bitambula bulungi nnyo nze nagamba oba ndisigala ndi nzekka oba ndisigala siina muntu ambakinga app nze njaleeta ensonga yange nga bweri ngiteeke mu ddiira awo badiiringe nayo and that's what executive have done that's why today I thought that it is prudent enough as a member of parliament to know that I came here in the interest of the public. 40 millions of Ugandans would have been able to fit in one building to discuss the issues that are affecting them. But they chose only a few representatives to speak about their matters. I will not just watch on when wrong things are going on in this country. I will not accept that. It's the reason as to why today I've said no, I will not do the usual. Come here, lament, and nothing is being done. Ask for reports. We don't want reports. We want action. We want people to be freed. We want to see that government has stopped abducting people. We want to have government that follows the rules. We have laws of this country, of this land. We want to see those laws being followed. So that is the reason as to why I've come up today to address that matter of abductions. You know, each and every day they keep abducting people. You know, just in a month, over 15 people have been abducted. Today, as I'm speaking, 23 days now have elapsed from the time they abducted my president's bodyguard. Jamshid Kavuma, he was abducted up to now. No accountability from government. Government has kept a deaf ear about the matter. So it's the reason as to why, for me, I believe business shouldn't be normal. I did not come here to just receive salaries here. I didn't come here to get money. I came here when I have enough money. I did not come here to be a politician. I'm not a politician. I'm a leader who must speak what the people want to hear. And what they want to hear is that how are their people being released? People are rotting in jails, in illegal detentions. I've been in a safe house before. I've been tortured several times, and even court has ruled over the same that I've been tortured. I know how it feels when you have been abducted and tortured. Members of parliament have been abducted. You know, even our own leader here in parliament, as Speaker of she comes up to say that people are trailing her, people want to kill her, security should be beefed up. You know, imagine a Speaker of Parliament crying out that she's unsafe. Just imagine a common Ugandan. So that's the reason as to why, as members of Parliament, we must not just come here to lament. We should not just come here to just talk and then go away. So that's why it is very important to base on the matter that is affecting our people. And the serious matter is one, it is insecurity in this country that has been caused by government.
You have missed 10 sittings and you are being sent to Rules and Privileges Committee.
I cannot be threatened. Those are threats. Those are mere threats. They are threatening me so that I back off that matter. I'm not that kind. I'm courageous enough and brave enough to move on. I will get there. Instead of now solving what I've been presenting, they want now to base on the symptom of how I've presented the matter. Because I know this government just doesn't listen to the, you know, to the usual business. They listen to the unusual, you know, kind of way how I presented it. That's how they listen to it. So the reason as why each and every member should behave the same way. And I know this matter is not just going to stop there. Even wherever they have sent me, I will get there and I will still tell them the same thing. Good enough they have given me now another platform. I will present the same matter. Now, right now, let me just get somewhere else. I present the matter and see that at least the dignity of Ugandans is respected. Human rights is something that is given to us by God. It shouldn't be taken away by anyone. And I believe that all of us Ugandans, we have a big role to do in terms of that.
There are so many things the House can do. One, to give the government a deadline, timeline, within which to report and explain to this country. Because as we travel, we defend this country. All these things come up in international fora. They should not only think they are the only ones who need information, such that we are able to defend the government or say, no, I think things are going wrong with our government back home. So one, Parliament can order government to present a report here within a specified time, but not in a timeless way. Two, the Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs should by now have summoned the Minister of Internal Affairs, the Minister of Defense, but that has not happened. Why are they not doing that? That should have come out. Last time the leader of government, leader of opposition presented, that's how we laid the record. But there must be a response. There should have been a time within which they must respond, and they should respond. So those are the type of things government can do, Parliament can do. We want to see that happen. That way Ugandans would be satisfied and feel that Parliament is helping them. I think what we expect the government to do is to take this as an emergency, because this taints first the image of the country, and to the families who have lost or who have had their relatives kidnapped are totally confused. They don't know where to find. But also, the government should be concerned and respond immediately, unless government is hiding something from the public. Because let us give the latest one of yesterday or the other day, where Mr. Kabuleta was arrested. How can uninformed people come in, kidnap somebody from a press conference, and all the facilities, the gazetted facilities, where all the abducted people, or not all the arrested people are supposed to be kept, the person is not there. So where are these people kept? Just a few weeks ago, they were denying the presence of safe houses. So if these people are not in the gazetted places, where are these people if they are not in the safe houses? So when you do that, because even if someone has committed a criminal offense, there are procedures of how to arrest. Why would people hide in civilian clothes, in numberless vehicles, and keep people in the gazetted places? So government, you want to ask the government, you want to demand from the government, they should not take this thing lightly.
They were blasting and blaming the previous governments. But we have gone to square one. This is what we used to hear. This is what we used to read. This is what's happening now. And no one is coming out of it. The president one time came condemning these things. But these things have continued. Was the president serious when he condemned this type of actions? So what we had expected from the government side, from the leader of government business, was to say, yes, we are going to make a report tomorrow or whichever date, such that people are aware. But also there are new arrests which are taking place, new abductions. Can the government speak to people? Can they arrest people using the normal channel, the known channel? Use the police, produce summons, and arrest, but not behaving the way they're behaving.
Science monji ali mu parliament wano naye nga bwe nabagamba tugenda kukozesa obukodyo bwonna okulaba nga eddembe ly'abannayuganda lirekerawo okutyoboolwa. Amazima ebbanga lyetwawa gavumenti okuvaayo ne accountability report lyagiggwako dda, era ebbanga lyonna tubadde tugezaako okuteeka ensonga eno ewa speaker naye tetufuna mwaganya. Omwaganya we tugufunidde speaker kwe kwogera ku bintu bya arrest nti buli lunaku abantu ba arresting bamaze obbata ebeera tekyali nsonga, naye mu response ya speaker ezo n'ensonga z'abeera ayogeddeko mubeera mulina zoogerako. Naye Mukama Katonda nze oyinza okuntaayiza naye ate ne mufuna omukisa omulala gwoyinza okuyisiza ensonga. Kyenyinza okutegeeza eggwanga nti n'okutuusa essaawa eno tukyabanja gavumenti alipoota bwe banoonyereza kiki baazuula abantu baffe gye bali ng'amanya bwe twagabawa. Tusuubira nga sipiika bw'agambye tugenda kuddamu tutreatinge ku ssaawa nga 12 ku nsonga ezo, osanga tunaafunamu ekyesimba kye tunaakomawo enkya ne tutegeeza bannamawulire n'eggwanga ku biki ebigenda mu maaso ku kiwamba bantu. Tumaze mu parliament wano emyaka 2, ensonga enkulu mu byonna kyakuwamba abantu. Buli kiseera tuli ku nsonga eyo, era nga bwe byabeerangawo mu myaka gy'ekinaana tetumanyi ddi we kirikoma. So nga bwe twabagamba nti buli kimu ekisoboka tugenda kukikola, bwe kiba kyetaagisa ku engaginga foreign agencies, foreign courts, nakyo tujja kikola. Ne mu parliament wano ensonga tugenda kugezaako tuzifuule nti si za bulijjo okulaba nga abantu baffe balekeraawo okuwambibwa.
It is very pertinent and important that at this moment when we are witnessing abductions of civilians, recently, and I think this week we heard of the abduction of an Amir of Nakasero. So many people, power and NUP supporters have been abducted, and several other Ugandans with unknown identities. The laws are very clear, and the criminal procedure system is very clear, as provided for within our law, that if anyone is to be arrested, such a person can only be detained at a police station for not more than 48 hours. And if anyone is to be remanded to a prison for longer detention, it must be by courts of law and for a known period. And such a person so remanded retains the right of access to legal representation, medical, among others. What we are witnessing now are people in civilian attire driving vehicles, popularly known as drones, kidnapping civilians, people, and taking them forever. Most of those kidnapped have not been seen for months and some years. As Parliament, and I want to add in my voice that as of now, Parliament as a legislature must concern itself on the affairs and what is happening in the world today, the ongoing abductions. It is irrelevant for us to continue making laws, legislating on laws, when actually the executive, which we must put in check, does not implement and follow the law. Who is abducting the civilians? Where are these people being taken? Even the list presented by opposition long ago for those who were abducted, up to now, executive has not come out to explain and account for those who were abducted. But what we are only witnessing are ongoing and endless abductions. So I think it is pertinent for Parliament to put on hold all proceedings and now focus on a discussion on the ongoing abductions. First of all, demanding for the whereabouts of those abducted and demanding for the release of those abducted, and equally all justice, law and other sector institutions, be it the courts of law, the Law Society, among others, must now address the matter of abductions. Otherwise, we can't know who is next in the list of abductions. Where are these people being taken? And how do you kidnap someone and someone disappears forever, some for months? Those who have been identified, dropped on roads, many of them have been cited and have come out with signs of torture. So we are not certain on the security and the health conditions of those abducted. We condemn the ongoing abductions and we demand that Parliament must interest itself in the ongoing abductions. Executive must be put on task to produce those abducted. If they are suspected to have committed an offense, let them be produced in courts of law. But this business of continuously abducting civilians and they disappear forever is absurd for our country. We can't even know who is next. It's absurd, and we must all make it a matter of concern. It's very dangerous for the rule of law and matters of governance, including our constitutional provisions. They are very clear and elaborate on how any suspected individual must be treated. If suspected individuals are not accorded their rights as provided for within the law. Now, what is the destiny of the rule of law in this country? What is the relevance of courts of law? Ate kyankizo nnyo kuba nti Parliament essaawa eno yandibadde eteeka amaanyi mu kukubaganya ebirowoozo ku kiwamba abantu. Amateeka gaffe malambulukufu. Omuntu waba wakukwatibwa alina kukwatibwa ebitongole ebimanyikiddwa. Actually etteeka ligamba nti waba police officer alina n'okujja ne warrant card ye. Ne waba n'akola search. Ne katuba bayingirira amayumba g'abantu nga tebafunye search warrant. Abafa amateeka ganaakola ddi? Abantu ne bawambibwa, abantu ne bava eri nga batambula mu motoka eza bulijjo ezakazibwako erinnya erya drone, ne bakwata abantu ne batwalibwa, abamu ne bataddamu kulabibwako, abalala tebamanyikiddwa gye basibiddwa, abamu bamazeeyo myezi, abalala myaka, ate n'abatini abafunye omukisa ogusuulibwa ne basangibwa n'obubonero obulaga nti batulugunyizibwa. Twogera olwaleero nga wiiki eno yennyini waliwo amiru wa Nakasero, omuntu ku level ya amiru, mukulembeze wa ddiini gubagamba nti yawambiddwa motoka za drone. Kati ku level ya amiru oba yagala kubanga omukwata lwaki toleeta poliisi emanyikiddwa nti eva ku CPS oba eva wano? Ekyokubiri, abawagizi ba People Power ne NUP bangi bonna bakoze eki? Bawambiddwa. Kati Parliament nga ettabi erikola amateeka kyankiza okuba nti essaawa eno ekubaganya birowoozo ku bigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga. Ekyokubiri, erina okufaayo n'okumanya ekiwamba abantu kuba webanga Parliament ekola amateeka gagamba nti abantu bakwatibwa bwe bati, nti omuntu waba akwatibwa alina kutwalibwa ku poliisi n'atasukawo essaawa 48. Omuntu waba wakusindikibwa mu kkomera erimanyikiddwa alina kutwalibwa mu kkomera eriri gazetted gye tuyita prison, ate nga kooti yemusindiseeyo kubanga egere asigaza ne access ku balooya be, asigaza ne access ng'asobola okufuna ebyobulamu, asigaza n'okuba nti naye asobola okumanyibwa waali n'okwewozaako. Bano abakwatibwa tetumanyi gye babatwala, tetumanyi abakwata, tetumanyi gye bakuumibwa, naye ate lisi ekimanyikiddwa nti ababakwata babakutte emmundu, bali mu ngoye za bulijjo, batambulira mu drone. Gavumenti esobola kubanga buli kaseera eweebwa mwaganya kujja kusuubiza tunaakomawo tulidda. So Parliament ng'ekola amateeka kyankiza okuba nti essaawa eno yandibadde eyimiriza byekola byonna ekubaganya ebirowoozo ku kigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga n'okudimandinga one abawambiddwa boogerwe gye bali. Ekyokubiri, abawambibwa bateebwe basobole okulizibwa eddembe lyabwe. Wabanga balina gwe bavunaana omusango ate asimbwe mu mbuga z'amateeka ng'amateeka we galagira. Naye kye twogerako kati nti amateeka tegagobereddwa ate nga Parliament yeegayisa. Kati bwegenda mu maaso gekubaganya ebirowoozo ebeeteesa ku ki? Bwebanga amateeka gayisa executive tegassaamu kitiibwa, tegassa mu nkola, olukubaganya ebirowoozo kuba ku ki? So kiba kyankizo nnyo okuba nti amaloboozi gavaayo essaawa eno nti Parliament eyimiriza ebirala byonna twogere ku kiwamba abantu. Kubanga gavumenti executive erudde bw'ogamba nti poliisi oba magye biri wansi wa ttabi lye bayita executive. Paka olwaleero lisiti ezaweebwayo opposition nga tubanja abantu tebannalabibwako gye bali wadde okuteebwa. Kati ate abalala batandise okuwambibwa, tosobola kumanya ani anaddako okuwambibwa, ani agenda enkya. Enkola gye bayita enfuga ey'amateeka oba rule of law kati gye twogerako olwaleero nti Parliament ekigiyamba kola amateeka ne gayisibwamu olugaayo aye nayo n'esirika n'ekitongole ekiramuzi kyayo kyali bakivaayo essaawa eno kubanga kikimanyi nti abantu abakwatibwa balina kutwalibwa mu ttwayo mu makooti naye tebamanyikiddwako gye bali. Bw'obanga olina interest kye bayita justice law and order sector, buli kitongole ekitunulira enfuga ey'amateeka kyandibadde essaawa eno bajjayo amaloboozi. Ebitongole byonna Uganda Law Society, buli kitongole kyonna ekyekuusa ku nkola ey'amateeka kyandibadde essaawa eno amaloboozi galigamba abantu batwalibwawa kubanga bw'obanga omuntu alina omusango kale avunaanibwe mu kkooti ezimanyikiddwa naye yeewozeeko. Bano be twogerako tebali amanyi gye balaze babuzibbwa we batandika okukwata abantu ku lanka zonna tomanyi ani anaddako. Eggwanga liba ligenze mu katyabaga amateeka tuba tukola gaaki agatateekebwa mu nkola kibi.